we've been tracking a really great one for you, Lomiko. They're up to some great stuff in Quebec, and here to tell us all about it is their Chief Operating Officer, Gordana Slepcev, along with their CFO, who is Vince Osbourne. Let me introduce both of them before I turn the mic over. Now, Gordana, she is a mining engineer. She has over 25 years of experience that spans multiple commodities, including gold, base metals, coal, and industrial minerals. She brings tons of experience on the mineral exploration, permitting, indigenous relations, and project financing to the company. Before joining Lomiko, Gordana held the position of COO for BMSI, which was a privately held company. She is responsible for restarting the barite reprocessing facility and mitigating some historical environmental impacts of that project. She also formerly held the role of COO of Anaconda Mining. That's where I first personally met Gordana. And she was responsible for the company's operations and development of the Goldboro project. She's a graduate from the University of Belgrade, a master's in science, and chair of the Toronto chapter of the Canadian Institute of Mining, Metallurgy, and Petroleum. As for Vince, he's a first-time guest of the Global Mining Symposium, so a big hearty welcome to Vince. He's CFO and corporate secretary of Lomiko. He's a senior finance and valuation professional. He has over 19 years of experience in all areas of financial management and business partnering. Prior to joining the company, he held the role of real estate finance business partner for Sobeys, contributing to significant value creation through their real estate portfolio, strategic partnerships, and leading the valuations and impairment functions for the organization. He graduated from York University with a Bachelor of Arts in Economics, and he holds a chartered business valuator and certified management accountant designation. Gordana and Vince, like I said, a hearty welcome to the Global Mining Symposium. How are you both doing today?
Thank you very much, Antonio. We're doing fine. We're very happy to be joining here and presenting on behalf of Lomiko. We actually had a new press release on our Loutre property, graphite property, with some really excellent results. And we'd like to tell you a little bit more about Loutre, and I'll let Vince kind of open up the floor, and I'll share the screen.
Yes, nice to meet you, Anthony. Thanks for the warm welcome, and we're happy to be here.
Good stuff. Over to the two of you, and let's get updated.
All right, thank you. So happy to be here. Thanks for having us. We're with Lomiko, and you know, our purpose is really to develop a pipeline of critical minerals in Quebec for a North American climate success story. So we're pleased to be here. We're listed on the TSXV, OTC, and the Frankfurt Exchange. Just a quick disclaimer on forward-looking statements. We'll be discussing some of those items today. Because we're a people-first company, we always want to start it with our land acknowledgement and where our projects are located. So our graphite project's located in the Kitigan-Zibi Anishinaabe First Nations territory, and our Bourrier lithium project is in the Cree-Iu-Ichi, the James Bay territory of Quebec. So very important for us to acknowledge the communities and the areas we work in. Our purpose. So we want to be the operator of choice in Quebec, and we want to do that by putting people first. And some key attributes of Lomiko, you know, we've got 3 million of in situ tons of graphite in our Loutre property that's in Quebec. It's at PEA stage, and we're working through to a PFS. It's a scalable project, and Gordana will take you through some of the other projects that we've staked in the graphite space. The company also has an early stage lithium project, which provides a lot of upside as well. We're one of 19 certified eco-logo mining companies, very diverse management and board team, and we feel we're operating in one of the best jurisdictions for mining, particularly in critical minerals. The other item I wanted to point out is with respect to the Inflation Reduction Act, and that being another lever that is great news for companies in our position. As far as catalysts, you know, we kind of bucket them in 3 real pillars here. So the Loutre property, moving towards PFS, which I mentioned earlier, we just completed a drilling program, just over 13,000 meters. The environmental baselines are done. And we're going to be working through updating the resource in early 2023. Gordana will also take you through the early stage Grenville properties that we've staked, so 6 new prospective graphite sites. We've worked through some surveys that have been completed and understanding the results of those, so it looks promising. And as I mentioned earlier, our Bury early stage project. So a lot of work happening there. We are working through our earn-in on that property and working through understanding preliminary results from our program that occurred during the summer. One of the key things we point out is the lack of supply in North America. So there's a lot going on this slide, but just to give you the quick notes on it, you know, there's a lot of activity around battery initiatives that have been either planned or announced or committed within North America. And that's going to require a lot of graphite. And even if we just look at the commitments within Quebec, that's going to require about 1.6 million tons of graphite per year, graphite concentrate. So Lomiko is obviously a great solution, and we can provide up to 10% of North America's planned needs and probably about 30% of the demand in Quebec based on the current output of our project. And the data that we've looked at, that's you know, we've looked at through Benchmark Minerals, really speaks to a graphite shortfall. And the expectation is that we'll start seeing that in 2023, and the gap will widen significantly by 2027 out to 2040. So you know, obviously, depending on funding, our project would be planned to start around 2027 to really help mitigate some of that shortfall. But you can see, based on the projects that are in line, supply is fairly flat, but demand grows significantly. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gordana. I'll turn it over to you.
Go ahead.
Oh, so this slide, we wanted to point out critical minerals map of Quebec. So Quebec has been very vocal on their critical mineral strategy. This is to give you an outline of where we're situated within the province of Quebec. So the graphite projects, the Loutre is B on the map, and the subset there. We've staked 6 new properties within that area, and that's part of building that that pipeline of critical minerals, particularly in graphite. And it's in a rich area of Quebec that is known for graphite deposits. So important map and important strategic.
Yeah, maybe to zoom in on the next slide is where our properties are located. So we have acquired the 6 new properties. As intention is, as Vince mentioned before, is to create the pipeline of the graphite properties. With the first one, our flagship project, Loutre, to be the one where we possibly can have a plant. And then as we develop these other properties, at this point, they are in the exploration stage. We have finished some first geophysical surveys this summer. We have received some results, and we're actually reviewing these results as we speak, as we want to prioritize and perhaps do work before winter comes in. So this project has been financed fully with the flow-through monies. And as we mentioned, we look to at least identify a few that could be feeding in that pipeline as we move forward. Our flagship project, Loutre, issued the PA in 2021. And what we're looking to do here is produce about 1.5 million tons of the graphite over 15 years mine life, or about 100,000 tons per year. This property is 100% owned by Lomiko with only 1.5% NSR. So this is looking to be developed as a classic open pit project with some of the co-disposing waste with tailings. So we're looking not to build the classic tailings facility and minimize the risk for the investor. Plant production envisioned at this point about 4,000 tons per day. So what is the really the big work we've been doing this year is really into moving our Loutre project towards pre-feasibility. So we have just completed 13,000 meter drill program at Loutre between the EV zone and the battery zones, about 9,000 meters in the EV zone and about 4,000 meters in the battery. So we have started receiving the results. That's why I've been putting press releases. We're really encouraged with the results we've been seeing as of today. And even today, some really spectacular results. We're looking over 11% carbon for over 120 meters. That includes also about 50 meters at 15.5% carbon. Also, second best intersect is 8.7% carbon over 110 meters with about 70 meters on at over 12% carbon. So many of these holes still, of course, remain open. Many of the shoulders are resembling because we're actually seeing these zones being deeper and bigger than what we are actually expected. Something else that we have discovered in the EV zone is a new zone at the bottom of the sequence. Previously, we always thought that, the carbon's only found in the paranise, but we have discovered another zone that's about 9 to 10 meters thick that's in marbles, and the grades run anywhere between 6 to 10% carbon. So there is a potential, of course, to add up resources to existing resource base. And talking, of course, about the battery zone, drilled over 4,000 meters. We haven't received any assays, but from what we've seen in the field, it seems like the drill holes are confirming the results we knew from before. All this being said, I'm showing here the map of the EV zone, and something that's really encouraging for us, we've seen that the north and south end of the EV zone are now connecting. And also we have, plan to actually cut and define the south end of the EV zone, but we have actually discovered that with the drilling that zone actually may continue further southeast. The same thing, some of the holes we drilled to kind of contain the north end. Yes, they succeeded there, but some of the other zones actually are prospective towards the northeast as well. And we have also discovered some smaller zone towards the south. We're really excited, to see this really great results so far. And we're looking forward to seeing more as they come from the battery zone. Something else that we have done this year to move this project forward is we have done metallurgical test work, and we have used the concentrate that we had so far. I'm talking about the flotation concentrate. We have sent half of that concentrate to Brock Graphite in Germany and half to Corem in Quebec. So the results are really excellent. What we have seen is that we can actually purify this concentrate to over 99.95% purity with very low percentages of the impurities. What that means is that this material is very promising to be used for battery production and EVs. Also, some other key physical and chemical properties discovered during this test program are that we actually have very balanced product, that all other characteristics are really good for other industrial applications as well, especially in the thermal management, lubrications, and all other fields. Just to continue on that work that we've done early in the spring, we have collected and sent over 800 kilograms of the core samples to SGS Lake Field. At this point, we are doing pre-feasibility level of the testing, flotation testing, and also we're looking to generate some flotation concentrate. We're looking to send this flotation concentrate for further battery grade material testing and value-added testing as well. So at this point, we have a hired marketing specialist, and we have generated first technical data sheet that we're starting to share with some interested party. Even though very early in the project development, we're looking to secure these contracts. And of course, this negotiation and product evaluation takes over a few years. Also, before I finish, I know our time is limited, I want to point out some of the finds that we have regarding our Bourrier property, which is in the Nemaska Belt, and it is located within known resources, including galaxy resources, critical elements, Rose lithium tantalum project, Nemaska lithium, but also on the same trend, the Lamar property that has identified some really higher grade lithium samples from 1.5 to 2.5% lithium oxide. So with the work that we have done so far on the Bourier last year and this year, we have been able to identify about 2.5 kilometer long trend. We have focused our works, of course, this year as well. We have collected so far during July and August about 500 rock samples and over 1,100 soil samples. All these samples are now, of course, in the labs. We're waiting result. We've been working with the critical elements and earning towards 49% ownership in this project. And the field work was supported also by Goldspot AI. We've been using this group and this technology so we can help expedite the exploration process, to call it that way. And just to summarize, for our Loutre flagship project, we have finished infill drilling. Our goal is to actually re-rate our inferred resources into measured and indicated, and to be able to stake, reserves at some point, but more or less publish updated resource estimates somewhere early in 2023. Our goal is to further move our metallurgical understanding of the project, very encouraging initial results. And of course, we're continuing work with SGS and pro-graphite. And then, of course, building the pipeline of the graphite properties to feed into the EV market. Basically, that's what we're looking. And also, developing our early stage Bourier project, as really the indicators are there. The graphite prices are going up. We have seen the fines go up from 500 to 750, 800, based on the latest input from benchmark intelligence. And also, we all know that the EV battery market is growing. People are buying more cars. And something that Vince mentioned is helping is Inflation Reduction Act, where most of the raw materials based on this act would have to be sourced from North America. And of course, we believe that La Loutre is a really great project. We have done a lot of work through this summer to move this project forward. But of course, we're looking to raise more money, about $5 to $6 million to finish further works, including mine plan, plant design, infrastructure, geotechnical, and some other works on environmental front. So this is where we're set. This is what we're looking to do, move all our project forward. And open for any questions.
Thank you, Gordana. Very great presentation. We have gone significantly over, unfortunately. We will get a very quick one if you can just quickly respond to, because the opening early slide from Vince was very powerful, and you picked up on it in terms of all the EV battery plants. We know in North America it's a big issue. We got to get more of them happening. But the story during COVID was, of course, supply chain was very important because we couldn't get these things in from China. Going forward, why is it still important to have North American source graphite for these growing plants that are going on?
Well, because we're going to be in the shortage. And of course, why would you import the battery from China, move, 500 to 700 kilograms battery, when you can actually source materials here in North America? It's also the risk in North America supply chain. It's closer, and the last thing is Inflation Reduction Act. You actually get the significant tax discounts if you actually buy local. Excellent.
Well, it's been fun to see you and your team build the story layer by layer. I mean, graphite's the right metal. Going forward, the drill results that we're seeing, to see all this infrastructure building up around it. Really, it's been a great story to develop. I wish we had more time. Time is not our friend. We've gone about 8 minutes over, or even more, actually. So we got to get on to the next one. But Vince, wonderful to meet you. Gordana, great to see you again. Continued success with Lomiko. We'll continue to follow closely.
Great.
Thank
Thanks
you very
much.
much.
Cheers.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.